Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Quadab, GMS Gulf Coast. And I'd like to start by giving infinite honor and praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors are given up to the apostle elders of great millstone men who have labored and suffered in this truth for over 30 plus, for over 30 years, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice. Also, I'd like to send a shalom to the bishops, the elders, heads of camps of Great Millstone by and large, as well as Akim, not named GMS, but walking one body, one spirit in Yahushua, preaching and teaching 100% truth, as well as calling on the names Yahweh, Yahushua. And last but not least, I'd like to send a shalom to the hopeful elects scattered throughout the four winds of planet Earth, north, south, east, and west, which consist of men, women, and children in that order. To you all, shalom. Now, I was looking for a clip. Lord willing, this don't be too long. So like if it's too long, but Lord willing to be edifying. Most importantly. Having said that, I was looking for this clip of then Senator Joe Biden back in 2000. I think it was April 2005, where they was giving a Senate confirmation hearing for then nominee for Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts Jr. And in that confirmation hearing, then Senator Joe Biden was scalding, or rather trying to push to see what then Supreme Court Justice nominee John Rogers Jr., what was his stance on what you see here on the screen here, the radio frequency identification. And in that confirmation here, he said that it was going to come across his desk and that he was going to have to vote on that. And if you listen closely what then Senator Biden was saying to then candidate for Chief Justice John Roberts Jr., if you listen, that he said that was going to come across his desk. So if you listen closely to what was being said in that confirmation here, he already had the seat. You understand? It was just theatrics. But mind you, I just listened to a couple of hours worth of part two. Let's see here. I listened to John Roberts' confirmation hearing, day 2, part 1. It was over 3 hours and 25 minutes long. But what I did was I went straight to the portion that where Biden was giving his 20, 30 minutes worth of questioning. And then I also looked at the one day 3, part 2. But check this out. I want you to listen to what I'm about to read to you. All right, it says right here, Biden and Roberts were with O'Connor for, let's see. I just had it. Let me go back. Let's see if I can pull it. Because that was actually in there, confirming hearing on nomination on John Roberts. Let's see. Supreme Court, John Roberts, opinion. Let's see something. Now, I just had it pulled up. Well, they done scrubbed that. They actually have scrubbed that. That's what done happened. They have scrubbed that exchange between then Senator Joe Biden and then Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, because we know now these men, John Roberts is the Chief Supreme Court Justice, and Joe Biden is the sitting President of these United States. So we're talking about 2005, which was almost, this year would make 19 years ago. So having said that, they have since then scrubbed that interaction between the two. So I couldn't find it. And it was going to be a part of this video. The reason I'm bringing all that up. As a matter of fact, they claimed it to be conspiracy talk. You know what I'm talking about? But we know what we all saw. As a matter of fact, there's an alternative news platform called Redacted, and whenever they come on live, they have about a 30-minute intermission, and they have these different clips. Being that I think his name Bryson. Anyway, he used to work for Fox News, so he has he has inside connections with a lot of these politicians, forming weapon inspectors, and UN, liaisons, so forth and so on. But that clip that I'm speaking about is actually in his intro, and I was listening to his intro, and they scrubbed it from there. So that's been removed since Biden has become president. That's been removed. It's been here something recently, but I thought to add that into my video, and because I like to show and tell. But anyway, make a long story short, that has been removed. That interaction between then Senator Biden and then Senator Slakia, then Chief Justice nominee John Roberts Jr. That interaction between the two about him having to vote on the microchip or the RFI identification, radio frequency identification, has since been scrubbed off the internet. Now, having said that, let's do a little read, shall we? Like I say, Lord willing, it's going to be too long. Anyway, as we see, radio frequency identification, RFID tags are a type of tracking. Check this out now. That uses radio frequency to search, identify, track, and communicate with items, look at that, and people. They have it highlighted, not me. Let's read that again. The RFID tags are a type of tracking, keyword, tracking system that uses radio frequency to search, identify, track, that is again, and communicate with items and people. Now, we know that here recently, what his name, the guy that owns those electric cars, what is his name? Shit. Dang, I can't even think of one name. He got the electric cars, you know what I'm talking about, and SpaceX and all that, you know what I'm talking about. I can't even think his name. Hey, ain't that something? He just bought Twitter and everything. Him, that guy. Anyway, they had just recently, through some technology, was able to implant a chip into the brain of a person. I don't know if it's a woman or a man, but Elon Musk. The water y'all about to bringing that back to my mind. They was able to implant a microchip in the brain of a patient here recently. And they Neuralink, that was his name of his company, one of his company. And mind you, now think about this. Now I want you to think about this. This RFID tag, a type of tracking system that uses radio frequencies to search, identify, track, and communicate. Communicate. Speak directly to the mind. Just something to think about. And it says with items and people. Essentially, RFID tags are smart labels that can store a range of information from serial numbers to a short description and even pages of data. Now, it says how are RFID tags and it says what are RFID tags like and how are they used? Anyway, let's read the purpose. What is the purpose? And it says radio frequency identification is a technology that uses radio waves to passively identify and tag objects. It is used in several commercial and industrial applications from tracking items along a supply chain to keeping track of its items checked out at a library. Yeah, they coming up with these little, but we just read in its inception, it says tracking system that searches, identify, track, communicate with items and people. Now that's very important because in Revelation the 13th chapter, it speaks about this. You know, it speaks about this as the apostle, as Paul was given this revelation as he's been in prison, right off the coast of Greece. I can't remember the name of the prison that was in. It started with an M. I can't right off the top of my head. It's foggy, but the angels came to him. One of the angels come to him and give him this vision. You know, so when our forefathers had already spoken about this. And this is very important because what we see from day to day, we vet it by way of the scriptures. Because the scriptures is a living book. It is very valuable to our existence as far as us not being ignorant of a lot of things and not be passive and just plain out stupid of a lot of things. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a good book that you take to the church house, to the Baptist church house or the Methodist church house, and you sing and dance and do all that wild and dizzy stuff. That's not what this book is about. In fact, when they do bring out the scriptures, they bring it out in a totally bugged out fashion and never go into the validity of the scriptures. You understand? It's for some old bugged out purpose altogether. It has nothing to do with the truth. But as we see these things unfold, you know what I'm saying, you know, like then Senator Biden was grilling the nominee for the Chief Justice seat, John Roberts Jr. They bring these things out. They speak of these things openly. I mean, looking at it now, you know, they're trying to cover their tracks, but it's out there. I mean, I'm quite sure if I dig a little deeper, but I've been searching for it for the past 2 hours, you know. And as the Apostle Elder Rumla says, you have to strike where the iron is hot. So, you know, I didn't want to lose this, you know, this wind of the Spirit. So I just figured I'd just speak on it, you know, without a clip to show. But anyway, I want to read on. Let's see. What can I do with the RFID tags? Can cell phones detect RFID? Let's see. Then you need to know about the tags. Let's see. Activate. Do they have activate? And there was like 3 different functions of this thing. And I wanted to see if I can find that, how it charges, you know. And they're showing you these different applications. It says, what are RFID tags? And showing you different deals. Like, you know, you get those little round aluminum stickers on items that you buy. That's one way of it. It says RFID simplified. How it says how RFID works. I mean, they show you the different. And I don't want to click on to them because I don't want to. Because they look like YouTube videos, and I really don't go into that. But let's see, what is it? Let me see something. Let me look at this right here. I'm gonna click on a few of these and see. It's more or less a read along. Like I said, I don't have no clip because They conveniently scrub that. And you got to get right on it. When you have something new, you got to jump right on it. Here we go right here. Let's see. Let's read a little bit. It says, what does a radio frequency identification tag mean? Okay, we already know what that means. A radio frequency identification tag, RFID tag, is an electronic tag that exchanges data with a radio frequency identification by using radio waves. Now, it says more RFID tags are made up. It's like most RFID tags are made up of at least two main parts. The first is an antenna, which receive radio frequency waves, RF. The second is an integrated circuit, IC, which is used for processing and storing data, as well as modulating and demodulating the radio waves received sent by the antenna. I wanted to see the functions of it. It says, although RFID tags have similar applications to barcodes, they are far more advanced. So this is moved past the barcode. Now, mind you, we read it's a way of communicating, tracking, and identifying items and people. So this is more advanced than a barcode. So referring back to Revelation, the 13th chapter, where you have to receive this physically, you understand? And we have proof of it that it's here. You know, you can read some what's going on in Switzerland and some parts of Europe. You know, even in the United States and in the Midwest, like Colorado, some portions of Florida. You feel what I'm saying? This is made readily available because this is the wave, or this is the system that is being set up. If you keep up with what's going on, current, you know, as the current events move forward, you see that a lot of the nations are moving away from the U.S. currency. You follow what I'm saying? Moving to a BRICS currency. And the United States is not going to go along with that. You got to follow suit. They're not going to become a part of BRICS nation, the BRICS nations. You don't see that in the foreseeable future because in doing so, the United States will have to yield its power to be subservient or vassal state to the founders, you know, the heads like Russia, China, you know what I'm talking about? And that's something that the United States would never yield to, you know what I'm talking about? So there you have it, you know. They're moving to the next phase of their plans. And this is, you know, let's get everybody on, you know, hipped up. It says they're more advanced. For instance, reading information from an RFID tag does not require a line of sight and could be performed over a distance of a few meters. This also means that the single tag serves multiple readers at a time. So you could be within the range of a few readers that can read where you at, just like your cell phone. You know, a lot of folks like to commit crimes, but they so stupid in what they do that cell phone becomes like a pair of drawers or socks. You don't even think about it. But off of these cell towers, they can ping that tag, that chip in that phone, and tell you within 10 foot of where you was at this time, this, that, and the third. The same way with these readers. That's all that is, the same technology. It's just more advanced. And imagine if it's on your person, you feel what I'm saying? So, you know, in your head, like this woman who just through Neuralink just got a man or woman, I don't know, you know, don't quote me on that. I know this person just received one in their head. Then wherever these readers are set up, you know, they know where this particular person is at. You follow what I'm saying? Making any sense? This also means that a single tag can serve multiple readers at a time. In the context of RFID technology, the term tag also includes labels and cards. The kind of tag depends on the body or object to which the tag is attached. RFID system can operate in either ultra high frequency, 5G, anyway, UF, UHF, high frequency. Okay, that's okay. Ultra high frequency, which is UHF, and HF, which is high frequency, or low frequency, LF. Tags can vary in items of the frequencies on which they operate. RFID tags can be attached to almost any object, although usually target objects are apparel, baggies, containers, construction material, laundry, and bottles. They also may be attached to animals. There go humans. Humans. We read what this technology is capable of doing. They're the word human. And vehicles. Some RFID tags are designed for rugged outdoor-based application. Let's read that paragraph again. RFID tags can be attached to almost any object, although the usual targets, although you gotta read slow, it could be attached to almost any object, although, listen to the word, although the usual target objects are apparel, baggies, containers, construction material, laundry, and bottles. They also may be attached to animals, humans, and vehicles. And although these are the usual targets, I mean, the evidence is there, say what's going on in Europe, Sweden, for example, been going on for the last 10 years or better. At least in the last decade, they've come out and been advertising this. You can go and you working on a job, you can actually go to the vending machine and get whatever you need out by way of just waving your hand and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? He's making this the next, making it fashionable, making it the thing to do. And don't be surprised when you see your favorite actor, favorite rapper, favorite athlete, news personality, whoever your favorite America Got Talent personality, idol, whatever the case may be, advertising this, man. You know what I'm talking about? Making it cool, you know what I'm talking about? Making it fashionable. Making it look hip and cool. And if anybody else don't have this, you know what I'm talking about, they behind the times type, you know what I'm talking about? So look for the commercials and the advertisement dollars to be pushed behind this. These are built to endure natural and incandescent light, vibration, shock, rain, dust, oil, and other harsh conditions. They are normally passive in that they are normally passive in that to function they do not require batteries. Now, the apostle, or not the apostle, but the elder brother, Elder Manat Zatbar out of South Carolina, he did a video a few weeks back about, and I seen that little tag on TikTok where it had a microchip on the eye, and it was chargeable by the heat from the eye, the heat that the body produced. You feel what I'm saying? You have to check that video out. SSS street teacher. Check that video out. So that's more proof to what's being said. I don't particularly have that video, but if any of you have subscribed to this channel, Elder Manat Zatbar, South Carolina, street teacher, look that channel up. So lucky for me not having that particular information. I'm doing this video on the fly, but he did a video where the chip was on the person's eye, and it was being recharged by the thermal heat of that body. Didn't require a battery. So there you go. It says they are normally passive in that to function, they do not require batteries and can operate 24/7 without risk of power loss. Such heavy-duty tags are usually attached to trucks, cargo containers, and light rail cars for cargo tracking, fleet management, vehicles tracking, vehicles identification, and supply containing tracking. Now, it's giving you some insight on um, this RFID, radio frequency identification ordeal. Now, let's bag it up just a bit here. Let's bag it up. What is okay? Again, the RFID tags are a type of tracking system that uses radio frequency to search, identify, track, and communicate with items and people. Let's see. That was nothing I wanted to read. We just getting some insight. You know what I'm talking about? We just going to get a little insight on this, and then we're going to move on to everything you need to know about RFID. Let's see. Let's go to this real quick. And then we're going to move on to precepts. Lord willing, I didn't want to make this long, but, it is what it is. Everything you need to know. Let's see. Let's read this. Everything you need to know about the RFID tags. RFID tags are small devices which use radio frequencies to transmit data. They are embedded in objects like clothing or other products and are used to identify and track them throughout a supply chain. Unlike barcodes, RFID tags don't require physical contact to a scanner. See that? Because they got the infrastructure set up for these things. Mind you, your phone don't have to be near them. Don't have to physically contact with a damn cell tower. You know what I'm saying? So they do have the infrastructure set up for this. They can be read from several feet away using RFID readers. It says, now, let's see if they mention people again in this, you know what I'm talking about? Because let's read this where it says, they say they are embedded in objects. So they conveniently left off the fact that people, you feel what I'm saying? RFID tags are small devices which use radio frequencies to transmit data. They are embedded in objects like clothing or other products and are used to identify, track them throughout a supply chain. Unlike barcodes, RFID tags do not require physical contact with a scanner in order to be read. They can be read from several feet away using RFID readers. Oh, they conveniently left out the people and the dogs and stuff. You just know that? Because it says it's embedded. So, you got to catch him now. He's slick. He's slick how he do things. Now, we just read that it's used to track people and communicate and all of that. It's a system. In order for a system, you got to have a infrastructure to support the system. So conveniently, in this right here, and what we reading, everything you need to know about RFID tags. But they conveniently left that little tidbit of information out so far. Let's read on. RFID tags, definition, okay? Short for radio frequency identification, is a tracking system that uses intelligent barcodes to identify items. They transmit data from the tag to a reader, which sends the information to a RFID computer program, which can then track any object through radio waves. Not only can RFID tags be used for merchandise, but you can use them to track vehicles and pets. Now they're gonna interchange them. See, but it's embedded in you. So what about the people? Slick to track vehicles and pets. Slick. Oh, but they'll say, well, we could put it on a dog's collar. They got, they got the lingo for the conversation now. You know what I'm talking about? But what if that dog get attacked by some dog. They rip his collar off. Anyway, because a lot of those homeless dogs you see on the streets, they don't have tags. And I've seen a lot of these Edomites pick up stray dogs and whatnot. First thing they do, they take them to a clinic, get them cleaned up, and see if he got a chip in him. He don't have no tag on. So you got to be, you know, like I said, they slick with their words. I noticed they conveniently left off humans. All right. And I'm trying to find that, so just bear with me. I'm trying to see if they're going to mention that. So just bear with me. RFID technology uses radio waves from a reader like an RFID scanner that are broadcast through the air and into an object or person carrying an RFID tag attached somewhere in the body. There it is. See that? Gotcha. How RFID tags work. So you got to keep reading to get on some. RFID technology uses radio waves from a reader like an RFID scanner that are broadcast through the air and into an object or person carrying an RFID tag attached somewhere to their body or clothing. Attached somewhere to their body or in their clothing. See how they want to be ambiguous? So if it ain't in your clothes, your underwear, your t-shirt, your socks, your panties or whatever, you know what I'm talking about? Your pants on your body. So I guess they're going to put it in a necklace or a bracelet on a gold tooth. Come on. So they ain't want to come straight forth with saying embedded in you. But we read up. Let's go back up. What it says right here, radio frequency transmitter, they are embedded in objects. Now let's get that word embedded real quick. Let's get the word embedded. Google the definition of the word embedded.
Here's the definition of embedded: of an object, fixed firmly and deeply in a surrounding mass, implanted.
So embedded means of an object fixed firmly and deeply in a surrounding mass, implanted. Embedded definition, let's see. Occurring as a, such as within, closely in, or as in a matrix, firmly mass attached. Let's see, some purpose covering a digital content drawn from, like, let's see, the various part larger than other. Well, embedded means to be again. Let's listen to it again. Embedded of an object fixed firmly and deeply in a surrounding mass. Now, is not your flesh a surrounding mass? Now let's go back up. It says implanted. Now, the RFID technology uses radio waves from a reader like an RFID scanner that are broadcast through the air and into an object or person carrying an RFID tag attached somewhere to their body or clothing, or rather embedded or implanted. The reader then captures information about what type of object takes the RFID tag, its size, shape, weight, color, and other attributes, and sends that information back to the computer program via radio waves for interpretation by human staff keeping up with you. Anyway, so we got that out the way. Now, these things are going to be used, like I say, it's going to be, now first, let me grab this right here first and foremost. Because, see, I did a video last night or night before last about ambiguity and how he uses all these words right here to misconstrue you. You understand? To misconstrue what he actually saying. You know, to my instead of just coming straight forth and just saying what it is. Now, this is our Lord and Savior saying this right here. Yahushua, the Son of the Most High Yahweh. And he says this right here. He says in Matthew, the 5th chapter, verse 37, but let your communication be yea. Let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. See? So, if it's never straight forth, you know, tomorrow you got to dig around and, you know what I'm saying, you got to go into this and go into that. You know, it's evil intent. Point blank period. Evil intent. That's you know, you can't give it the benefit of the doubt. You can't do this with these people because that's just not the way they're built. That's not the way they're set up. Now, let's go to Proverbs real quick, 1 and verse 10, and it reads, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Because they're going to make this fashionable. Like I say, you're going to see you're going to LeBron, you know, tomato Cat Williams, Denzel Washington, you know, tomato Terrence Crawford, you know, talking about whoever your favorite athlete, movie star, entertainer, whatever the case may be. They're going to make this fashionable. Again, Proverbs 1 and verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent not. Consent not, thou not. It says consent thou not. Now, let's get that word consent real quick. Let's get it real quick. Let's get it.
Strong's H14. Ava.
To be willing to consent. To be willing to consent, yield, except to desire. Don't desire to do nothing because you see these wicked ass the Jay-Z's and Beyonce's and P. Diddy's and Rick Ross's and whoever these, you know what I'm saying, whoever your fancy your tickle you look up to, you know what I'm talking about? Don't let them entice you. Don't let them consent. Don't let them have you the desire to be wicked. Because these things are going to cost you your soul, going to cost you your ass, and then going to cost you your life. It says, bruh, after figure to be quiet, rest, content, will be willing. Don't be willing to do this. Don't be willing to be wicked. And these people are sinners. They are sinners. Let's see, entice. Let's get the word entice.
Strong's H6601. Patha.
Entice, it says to be open. Be wide. It said be wide. Don't be open to suggestions to being wicked, man. Make spontaneous, make open, to be simple, entice. Beautiful. Don't be simple. Don't be, it says to be open-minded, be simple, be naive. That is. Don't be naive. Because this has been spoken about, the MOTV, the RFID, has been spoken of from the apostle elders of Great Millstone, first and foremost. These men have been pushing this since they've come on the scene and before then. You understand? No other group, no other elders or men of stature, quote unquote, have been bringing it to you like the apostle elders. And since they have come on the scene, the bishop and the elders, the elder brothers, they've been bringing it out like nobody's business. Been telling you about these things, you understand? So you're not to be simple-minded. You're not to be naive because the information is out there about this. And not only that, when you do a little Google search and go in to read, you see what this is about. This is specifically what the scripture is talking about in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. It's not talking about white women and sin and all these other made up bugged out doctrines that these other so-called Israelite groups are coming up with, man. And it's got nothing to do with that. It's something physical, you understand? And they're promoting it. And guess what? There's going to be a lot of money pushed behind this. And so, like I say, you're going to see your favorite actor, comedian, entertainer, athlete, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to see them out here promoting this sooner than later because the times are getting goddamn rough. So you can't consent to this. Now, let's go real quick. Let's go to real quick. Because, in doing so, man, like I said, you're going to be put to death. There's no two ways about it. Second. Ezra 16. There's no two ways about it, man. You're going to be put to death. You know. You have to be fully persuaded in your mind that that you're going to do what is required of you as an Israelite man, woman, and child. Whether it costs you your life, you just going, you know, this is what you need to stand on. Because ultimately, the people who entice you, you know, to and have you to do these things, you know, when it's all said and done, they still gonna do what they set up to do anyway, and that's to unalive your ass anyway. So it's, you know, so it doesn't even make sense to be a sellout to this. You know what I'm saying? This is 2 Ezra 16 and 69. It reads, it says, and they that consent, going back to Proverbs 1 and 10, if sinners, and I'm gonna read it from my own. This is Proverbs 1 and 10. It says, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Verse 2 Ezra 16 and 69, it reads, and they that consent, they that are willing, they that go along with this, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden on the foot. And trodden on the foot. Let's get that word derision. Let's get it real quick. Google the definition of the word derision.
According to Merriam-Webster, A. The use of ridicule or scorn to show contempt. B. A state of being laughed at or ridiculed, a state of being derided.
Derision, a state of being ridiculed or scorned to show contempt. They're going to say, these dumbass niggas. And I'm just using it, you know, in layman's term. These dumbass niggas, these dumbass wetbacks, these dumbass tontos. You know what I'm talking about? Their power told them not to do this, you know what I'm talking about? But they bought into our system. They were fooled by these porch monkeys, Jay-Z and P. Diddy and T.D. Jakes and Denzel Washington. They were fooled by these porch monkeys that we funneled money into and used them as an advertising ploy to get them to go along with our schemes. You're gonna be used to ridicule or scorn to show contempt, a state of being laughed at or ridiculed, a state of being derived. You're gonna be had in derision. That's what that means. Exactly what that means. Now, let's see. And one last scripture, and I'm gonna close out because it's been going on long enough. Now, mind you, we say what we say in this ministry, you understand? But now Esau has a very subtle tongue, a very, cool and crisp way of putting things. You understand what I'm saying? Because some of you can still be simple. It don't matter how much proof you bring out and of his deceitful ways and whatnot. It don't matter. Because you're looking to be smooth and rock to sleep anyway. So we're going to bring this out and we're going to close out. This is Psalms, the 55th chapter. And let's see, and verse, 20. And it reads, He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they drawn swords. Drawn swords. It says, verse 22, cast thy burdens upon the Lord. Now, real quick, cast thy burdens upon the Lord. This is Matthew's, the 11th chapter. Let's see. Real quick. This is Matthew's 11th chapter, verse 28, and it reads, check this out. Our Lord and Savior Yahushua speaking again. It says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. There it is. You gotta, in other words, you gotta trust in the Lord. You got to. You got to. In these times, that's the remedy. It is what it is. That's the remedy. Back in Psalms 55 and 20, he had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. And he always wants you to shake his hand. Little dirt ass, go in the bathroom and use the bathroom, won't even wash his hands. We see him. Nasty ass. Anyway, he had broken his covenant. And everything that he claimed that he gonna stand on, he always go back on. So this is not a trustworthy man. It says the words of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Gonna have you in derision. You go along with the get along. You're gonna be laughed and scorned and mocked at, and you're still gonna get thrown into re-education camps. Still, you know what I'm talking about? How you gonna feel then? It says his words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast thy burdens upon the Lord, just like the Lord say. Cast your burdens upon him. You just do as he say, and he shall sustain thee. He will never suffer the righteous to be moved. You know what I'm talking about? And those are going to be standing stiffly, man, for the names of Yahweh Yahushua. You know what I'm talking about? You're gonna be in good hands, like that commercial. You're in good hands with Allstate. No, you're gonna be in good hands with Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Verse 23. But thou, O power, shall bring them down to the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days. But I will trust in thee. So these men are gonna get exactly what they deserve, and 2/3 of our people too, if you go along with the get along. I'm going to close out by giving infinite honor and praise to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Double honors to the Apostle Elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.